All right. So I thought it'd be fun just to go live because I haven't gone live in a while. Been very, very busy um between numerous things. You'll probably see a few of those things start to come to light here. Closed around for one of the companies, and then have a few other ones that are underway. But most importantly, we have what I would consider one of the most important days coming up tomorrow, where we're going to get CPI numbers. And if you aren't aware, been tracking the market very closely, and I've told people time and time again, the worst thing you could do right now is step away for so many reasons. Um, because you're gonna be missing a million different things. So, I think it's easiest right now, real quick, just pull up some charts, give you some commentary, what I'm looking for. I'll break down Monday, or yesterday, what I basically put out in my Discord and what I was telling people that we should be looking for and how I think the rest of this week will play out. Now things have changed a little bit with Trump speaking, and also I think some indicators in the market being shown. But real quick, we had a move yesterday um, that is easy to just quickly look at. So around what this is at 9 p.m. yesterday. Actually, no, this is midday yesterday. I don't know what time zone this is in, but we had this large move down, and so Bitcoin was sitting around 83,000, Ethereum right around 2,100. We had Hype sitting somewhere around like $15, and then Solana sitting around $130. And these are kind of the four I would say like major indicators that I've been using the last 24 hours. There's TIA though. I think you could look at the meme coin market also as a bit of an indicator. I also don't want to look away from what like Aave, Maple slash Syrup are doing. These companies have like real revenue. I think those are also very big indicators. But um, notably, and where I think I've seen some strength and volume is so yesterday we had this pullback, large soft 10%, I think basically across the board. Um, Bitcoin going down to 76,000, Ethereum all the way down to like into the 1700s. I think 1750 was the low we hit. Hype at one point $13. A lot of people saying $12 was their all-in number. A lot of people also saying that like 76,000 was their all-in number for Bitcoin. But as you can see, that downtrend was met with a lot of buying and a lot of price action. That look, this part of the commentary is not novel. A lot of people have noted this, and I think it's true. That this is the first time we've seen that like real buying volume on a downturn in the last 2 weeks. Um, and so that was good. That felt like okay, there is a backstop to the sell-offs here. Now, makes sense. Didn't see Hyperliquid recover quite as strongly. And Ethereum is just at this point falling into like cursed territory of like cannot recover. Um, but I'm using this also as like, all right, we're going to the CPI tomorrow. What should we expect? The easiest way to break this down, and I tweeted this out yesterday, modified some of these a little bit as well, but I tweeted this out and said, there's been a lot of commentary on this. I'll share this tab. Hopefully it'll pop over. Um, I basically said, we had the jobs come out today. It was bullish, good. I think that took a little bit of the fear off the table. CPI coming out tomorrow, and then PPI on Thursday. Of all the things that were gonna be like the skull fuck moment for the market, it is Wednesday's CPI, and what comes out there. The easiest other side of this is people are saying like Trump wants the market to go down. I don't think that's a fair like I think that is a very cool thing to say. Like, oh yeah, Trump wants this. He's such a gigabrain. Mm, I don't. I think that might be an oversimplification of like he understands at any moment he can pump this, and I think the people that he has around him in this second term also understand that at any moment, if he wanted to full send this, he could kind of put his foot against the gas with a couple tweets, a couple initiatives, stop the trade war, basically turn this into like bull market and spur the risk market as well. But I think also that is to his advantage to kind of play hardball here, to almost deteriorate the market a little bit, where he can lean on like, hey, post admin, etc. But I also think that this sets him up, as long as the jobs are bullish. I think that's one side of this. We are seeing some companies start to say like, hey, there's a lot of uncertainties, so we're kind of pulling our next, the year outlook back a little bit here, just because hey, we don't know what we're certain of. Um, but I think a lot of this is misplaced on, hey, Trump is at some point just gonna flip the switch. I think it's gonna be more gradual. I also think that this bullishness into tomorrow, it could be more of a flat event, and I think we're probably not gonna have this like, hey, all-time high trade, that comes out of this. I think it's gonna be we trade in range. That range, as I had open that TradeView chart, and if I pull up, let's just say the Bitcoin chart, personal singularly, um, that range kind of being between like 83,000 and like 90,000. And I think we're just going to trade within that range. And as long as we don't fall outside of, um, oh, it also helps if I share this tab. As long as we don't fall down into no man's land and like this big support line here, which would put us at like 70K if we got to there. And you can even see I drew in on like last stream last week. This is critical moment of like we need to hold that level, and if we get there, then things have significantly changed. Um, but for the most part, we haven't been invalidated. There's still a lot of trade fears, and the way I'm playing this is I'm not trying to get ahead of the trade. I am simply I am simply uh I'm flat pretty much. And I traded this bounce. I thought we got good volume, traded it. I think I was in at like 78 or 78,000, and I bought some hype, I bought some soul, and then I tried the short and I lost a little bit of profit on that. Thinking that we would have a weakness in the euro markets into the morning, but we didn't. That's fine. But we're back to where we were. And you know, we have to have honest conversation also around good news versus bad news, and how much that is going to affect the market. Good news is probably going to affect us more than bad news is. Like, let's say, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, you get a 5 of good news versus a 5 of bad news. I would say that the good news is going to have, even though they're like the same magnitude of good versus bad, it will have an outsized return. I think the bad is kind of priced in for the most part, if that makes sense. Like if we get a bad CPI print, cool, we could be back into like the mid 70s. But if we get a really good print, where are we at? We're probably back into the 90s. Both are potentially 10K moves, but I think also I I don't see this being like disastrous unless it's a horrible, horrible, horrible inflation print. Um, then we are talking like critical support levels. So, um, yeah, I feel pretty good. I am not long leveraged. I'm flat. I think you have to be. Now, like, am I entering trades like right now? No, I've made those over the last 24 hours. And I feel relatively safe in them. And I'm willing to kind of like give up all of that profit into the downside because I don't think we move. And I think I have plenty of time to realize what direction we're going into tomorrow. So again, tomorrow CPI, I think that's at report time. Let's see here. What are we doing? So CPI 0.3. Yeah, so we'll know tomorrow morning. It'll be interesting. I'll be up streaming, and I don't consider myself an economist, but I'm literally just telling you, like, from a trading slash risk perspective. Um, I don't know if I'm like backing up the Brinks truck here. Now, if we get something that's kind of like mediocre, and Trump continues to lean into getting rid of these tariffs, then cool. Then it's a time to make a play. But I think spot right here is a safe bet, and that's how I'm going to be playing it. Otherwise, the rest of the crypto market, um, I've seen a few things momentarily about NFTs, and I think this is like the leverage play on ETH, which again is having a horrible time. But it's like funny to me that like Pudgy Penguins are $18,000. They're very low, and you have Abstract coming. They'll have a TGE. When that is, I don't know. But then becomes like, hey, do you have the extended capital to take 9 ETH off the table and park into Pudgy Penguins for a potential 30K to 50K TGE against Abstract? And you don't even know how that unlock is going to be. Um, but I do think that there are some areas here that you can play with. Um, Ketogenesis, if you have an NFT, it's a great way to basically have a hedge if you're going to go long or short with actual Keto. That actually is an interesting one. I haven't pulled that up in a minute here. Let me see. Let me pull that up. Uh, we'll just pull it up on Binance. Oh wow. Yeah, I mean this has held up better than I thought it would, honestly. And if we started to get a market come back, and they start playing what I think they will be playing, of like being a data, AI, news, information company, um, then yes, there is potentially another pump here in play. But we do know that for the most part, this is back to where we were at like on TGE day. Um, yeah, that was not the move selling there. Unfortunate. Also, if you're tuning in, shoot me a chat. Good to see everybody. Having a fun Tuesday night here, prepping for CPI and the rest of the week. Again, not trying to swing for the fences here. I think you'll know if we're back, and the upside is, if you have cash and you've been sitting on cash for a while, it doesn't make sense not to be dollar cost averaging in here. Like if you're sitting on 500,000, you're sitting on 100,000 that you sold at the top or whatever it is. Um, I sure as hell would have been buying last night. At least, like, I would have thrown like 10% in, right? Does not make sense to not have some long exposure in some way. Um, Outside of that, NFT market for the most part not touching. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, you don't trade yourself by like paper cutting, build, talk, stay active. As you guys know, Loot well under development at this point. Excited for that. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out at loot.gg. I won't harp on that too much, but that'll be an exciting venture to and they're also sponsoring the streams now, so thank you. Um, I'm excited to start like showing and doing the analysis for the market and trades and news via the site when that goes live. So give them a follow on X. It's just at Loot. Um, Otherwise, really, it's been quiet. It's been super quiet. Um, haven't Today's been a weird day. Haven't seen too much craziness. Um, Notably, let's see here. We'll just pull up in our terminal here. So we have the AI terminal. We'll just pull up, make sure there's nothing that's like heavily being flagged. Um, let's see here. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana. It's For the majors, it's price movement, ETFs, and Trump admin. That for all the major stuff. Layer twos, um, and then layer twos, it's who's dominating. So you have base, arbitrum, optimism, as like the main ones. For who, like, it's very interesting. Base, if you note, and I have notes here going through, um, for the top four most traded uh tokens that have been launched and created. And also note that for where tokens are being created, it's still 95+% happening um on Pump.fun, so Solana based. But it'd be interesting to see if Pump.fun ever switched to multi-chain, or if that's been announced or hinted at, or even if that's a thing. I don't know. I have not used Pump.fun in a very long time. But Solana's number one, no surprise there. Base is number two, BNB is number three, and ETH is number four for token traded volume on terminals and trading bots, which includes Trojan is the most familiar, which is the number one trading bot right now. Trojan number one, Bonk is there. And then you have BullX, Photon, Axiom, Soul Sniper, doing a little bit of research on how traders and how much volume and basically how are people adjusting here. Shouldn't be of surprise if you were to pull up one of these charts. And I think BullX is a good example of somebody who's been around for like a really long time. Also, why is this not full? Shouldn't this be wider? Why is it not showing the whole screen? Um, that's so weird. That is actually so weird. Why is this not showing the whole thing? Can I make it the whole screen? That's bizarre. It won't go. I can't make it bigger. That is so weird. I gotta figure out how to do this then. If I do it like this. All right. I have to make the tab smaller on my computer because the screen is too wide. Don't get that. If you look at this chart for BullX, and I think there's a lot that comes out of this. Obviously, the peak was back in like the beginning of the year. October, November, we saw things pop off, and then into where we had the Trump fiasco happen. Trump, Melania, real mayhem happen. Yes, the volumes were insane, and those sustained, or yeah, they kept going, and then it's just kind of been this bleed off. Notably for me, though, I'm trying to understand where does this settle. This chart looks very, very familiar to if you were to pull up any of the NFT marketplaces in previous cycle, what they were doing. And so then it becomes if the NFT kind of like bull cycle is dead, and we're using that as an example of how all of these meme token providers are going to kind of long tail into irrelevance, then what is the next cycle, or how are these different services going to have to adjust going forward? In my opinion, if you are a Solana based only provider, you're fucked. If you are not thinking about becoming like a real like front end provider, similar to how Uniswap is thinking about this, you're fucked. So I think this also is really easy to like look at like your bags. Are meme coins going to come back in the same sense? Some will come back. And will trading come back? Of course, trading always comes back. But this like absolutely insane like 400 million per venue. And to give you an example, that is one of only the top 6 or 7. And it's for a token that was widely available on other services such as Hyperliquid and Kraken and Coinbase and whatnot. That makes me believe that like you just won't see that volume in that sense come back for quite some time. The only area I see us moving to from like a trading perspective from here is more to like the stuff that has like actual use and utility to it. Sure, you'll still get the meme here and there, but it won't pump the same way you saw it pump. And I think a lot of that trading volume was starting to shift towards like, okay, well, I am buying like TIA, Hype, ETH, Solana, Bitcoin, and where are you going to do that and track that and see that performance and where are you getting the best experience? Um, but it is pushing me to believe that a lot of the capital is exhausted from alt season and meme coin season, and your average trader has just realized like they were playing in a casino. So, um, I am excited to see what happens going forward here, but my capital is being widely held for real tokens that have real utility, or have like real like use to them going forward. Like Bitcoin, strategic Bitcoin reserve is good. I know a lot of people are saying that's bad, but I, for the most part, think that that was one of the best ways that that could have been announced and handled. So thumbs up from me. Um, in the in the crypto world though, like again, nothing too crazy. Let's see. Outside of layer twos, meme coin, ETF filing is acknowledged by SEC. So Dogecoin ETF has been acknowledged by the SEC. Trump related meme coin, possibly ETF there. What? That's crazy. Okay, that's real news. Um, but notably, I think that's huge speculation, but I don't think that'll happen. Other altcoins with ETF momentum, Litecoin, Avalanche, VanEck registered for an Avalanche ETF. Polkadot ETF, Axeler, Hedera. Then you're gonna get the same stablecoin. I think the stablecoin situation in the US is gonna be a huge topic, and Congress is gonna have to have more conversations there. General stablecoin subject of significant legislative attention in Congress over the last few days. Um, Base. I mean, Base is getting a ton of attention. Base is getting a ton of attention. I still think that there is a moment here where Base makes a roaring comeback. But again, I just don't see meme coins having the same kind of like moment that we had. Such a wacky, goofy moment in hindsight. I think for a lot of people, um, we'll have to watch. We will have to watch. But Uniswap and Aerodrome, I'm gonna watch the volume there and see what's happening. I think you have to significantly keep an eye on that. Let's see what else. Honestly, for the most part, I'm just waiting for CPI tomorrow. Staying smart, not overextending, not doing anything stupid. Yeah. If you haven't sold and you're thinking about selling here, I don't think there's anything unless you think we're really done here. And we're really about to enter a recession. I don't feel it looking at things, listening to things, unless Trump like really decides to die on like a tariff hill and like drag this out really, really heavily. I just don't see us packing it up here. So again, I'm flat in spot. I'm hanging out, I'm watching, looking for opportunity. And when I see it, I'm being patient. I will move heavy with size. That is the plan going forward here. Um, yeah. Otherwise, if anybody has questions, let me know. Just hanging out though. Long, long day. I could use. I'm just looking at. I mean, Solana. Even Solana, I think if you look, getting rejected there on that move up. Yeah, this is on the 4 hour. So you look at the 1 hour and Solana. Yeah, so 130 has not recovered fully. It hasn't recovered fully since that down move yesterday. Um, yeah, I got stopped out on this short here. It would have been the right move if it hadn't picked up into this morning. Yeah. Hmm. At least from this downward trend, it's I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced the bounce is fully in yet. I think tomorrow's unfortunately going to be um it's going to have to be a good number for us to keep coming back. I think even a mad number, it's like even if it's a good number but it's not good enough. Do I think that's going to like skyrocket us? No. No, I think just we'll stay in range. Um I don't think it would be I don't think it would send us. It wouldn't be like a Nvidia earnings. Like Nvidia beat, but like the guidance was like, well, they're not, this is not like a bullish beat when you interpolate out and look at competitors, et cetera, and the rest of the economy. Um, I don't know. I actually don't know. I won't speak on that. I don't know how that would play if it was like a very minimum beat. Thinking through things right now. Um, hmm. For the most part, though, I'm just hanging out. Hope everybody's doing well. I'll start. I'm gonna start doing some analysis and charting if that's helpful. On following streams, but let me know. Good to see everybody. I'll catch you on the next.